Ooh. Horimiya stands out by many of the rom-com fans, and every time I heard someone explain why, there's always the one thing about it that fans bring up, which makes sense because I felt it too. The romance was so natural, not forced. But that's not why this video exists. I wanted to mention several things about the four main characters that stood out to me as I watched the first season. These character traits, as I would call them, had a charm that, while I'm sure others would pick up on them, they might not share the same sentiment as I do. But no matter. I'd call these the little things. So, let's start off with Hori. Was it her rich array of emotions she would display throughout the season? Was it the secret sadness she eventually invited Izumi into as they got closer? Was it her maturity that was sort of forced to grow ahead of its time? Or was it her way of suddenly freaking out and exploding? Sort of. She had plenty of those moments, but before she exploded, it was the build-up that I got into more. Those small steps, and I narrowed them down to many funny sounds her voice actress Marissa Duran made that totally captured me. Like when she didn't realize she was singing the theme to an anime song her little brother watched, and Izumi mentioned it.
Wait, was I singing?
That quick jerk and grunt is the first of several examples. She suddenly gets stopped in her thoughts, sort of hitting a brick wall, like in this scene when she realizes she doesn't know Izumi's first name.
Anyway, this boy have a name?
Huh?
Your dark villain.
Oh, yeah, his name's Miyamura.
That's his last name?
Yeah. His first name is,
Another quick and subtle sound that, again, might not mean much to anybody else, but something about it, and the fact that it's Hori doing it when she's supposed to be the mature one. Yet, when she gets flustered, all that maturity goes out the window when she can't confront Izumi, like in this scene.
came over. Say I'm not here!
That panic sound. For whatever reason, it's both cute and funny at the same time, and all because she's the one making it. Speaking of Izumi, let's go back to when he first enters her house, and she doesn't even recognize him. When he calls her by name, the brick wall happens.
Never would have guessed, Hori.
Yeah.
The sound in the face, it's perfect. Really, I believe her funny sounds mostly come from her being flustered. Which brings me to this scene where she's struggling with how she's supposed to feel about his quirks.
He isn't shy about undressing. Wait, am I supposed to get embarrassed?
She makes that trademark sound.
Well, now just
Yeah,
thinking about
anime characters are known for these sounds. They're nothing new. But with the unforced approach that was available to voice these characters, these little moments had all the more impact than many other titles. Well, to me anyway. And speaking of sounds that anime characters make, let's talk about Yuki, Hori's friend. Yeah, she's the happy-go-lucky girl with a sadness she wanted to hide too. The energy she had gave room for her to hit pitches with her voice that couldn't have been an easy feat, but was so natural for her. Such as when Hori was trying to learn Miyamura's first name, driven to the point to where she didn't realize she was peeping on the guys changing, and Yuki had to ask her if she was frustrated, if you catch my drift. And when Hori answers yes, I've wanted to ask the voice actress, Inaris Kanonis, if she could do that on cue or if she has to work up to it. I suppose in some instances she was given that chance, like here when she was trying to hide her burnt cupcakes from Toru, but then he shows up.
Hey, there you are!
So, while she's in the zone, she pulls off one last performance for the scene when Toru actually eats the cupcake. But, another day, another opportunity to reach those heights yet again. Like when Miyamura shows up with a bruised face.
Nothing much.
Only Yuki can accomplish such tones. Since we mentioned Toru only moments ago, might as well talk about him and his amazing outbursts.
It's no fair when two hotties date.
The runtime for outbursts are usually short, but he's quite capable of stretching them out a bit, like here when he assumes the worst.
I did my best, but I failed. And you're the one to suffer.
Stop! Just enough already!
What's wrong?
I don't want to hear it! Just get away
It's nothing
from
much.
me.
He dropped his soda.
But let's go back when he and Miyamura first chatted on the balcony. Awkward Miyamura, after putting two and two together, totally blurts out his discovery, catching Toru off guard. But there's no backing out of it
You
now.
have a crush on Hori, huh?
Yeah, so what if I do?
Oh! I thought you were gonna say no! Huh? But that explains why you're always glaring at me when I'm talking to her!
Well, now you know. Good for you!
And then, one of my favorites, Toru is able to watch safely from the sidelines when clarity finally hits as to what the mysterious younger classman is really after.
Plot twist! What the?
Only he could pull that from his humorous disposition on life. The voice actor, Zeno Robinson, must have had a blast playing him. And then there's Izumi Miyamura, the gloomy, misunderstood, and hidden treasure gradually brought from the depths, with the help of one serendipitous relationship after the next. Speaking of hidden potential, I wanted to include the scene where Hori suddenly dumps the responsibility of running an errand onto him because of supposed unforeseen circumstances. He totally has a Clark Kent to Superman moment.
Hang time! I gotta go!
It's so much of a change that Yuki doesn't even recognize him. The duality of Izumi Miyamura was fascinating, and I'm sure the voice actor, Alejandro Saab, loved the role because he got to shift from one end of the spectrum to the other, and that was what I wanted to highlight about him in this video. No quick funny sounds or silly outbursts, but a summary of his whole range of emotions. Starting off with the low points, we get the depressed Miyamura.
School's pretty tough, in lots of ways.
And you can totally hear the despair in his voice. Yet, moving up just a few notches, we get the calm Miyamura. While still depressed, he's moved to acceptance, at least.
If the two of them wind up dating, I'll be a giant third wheel.
Sorry I'm late, Sota.
Then there's his mode where he can actually function as a reasonable person in a regular conversation. Like here, when he and Hori are still getting to know one another.
What? You're asking me to come over to your house again?
I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for my little brother, Sota. He wants that cool dude that saved him from the dog to come play a while.
Really? Then I'll pick up a picture book for him or something.
It's fine. Just showing up will be enough, trust me.
But it doesn't stop there. Throughout this video, we've already seen snippets of him acting out, but let's hit upon an angry Miyamura, shall we?
Actually, I was hoping you could do the holding. This shouldn't take too long.
It's just a step up the ladder, but there's no need to push it in order to get the point across. It just works.
Don't have to apologize, Mr. President.
And yet... That's what's unique about him. His anger is a calm anger. Well, vocally anyway. But maybe that's what's so deep about his anger. His expression of it comes off as subdued to begin with, but then there are no words, just action.
Mercy! Mercy!
But he's not all dark. He's not really a bad guy, just hurt. The right people bring out the good side of him. He's still chill, but you hear the light in his tone.
Right. There you go.
And as he gets closer to Hori, he starts to open up a little, bumping things up a few notches.
I'm screwed. Mega screwed. We're gonna be swimming in PE. What should I do?
You should suck it up and swim. It's better than running a marathon, especially when it's scorching.
Swimming is way worse. It means they're gonna see everything.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about these.
But I think we skipped a few levels there. So let's go back down just a little. Really, I wanted to show one of my favorite freakouts by him. It's not over the top. It's not cranked up to anime 11. Instead, it's a means of escape when Hori wants to see a picture his friend sent. Well, he's embarrassed, and he runs away with this cry. Many of the characters are rich with personality in this anime. I just wanted to showcase the main four. Yet, I couldn't end this video without mentioning specific moments from this guy.
Kyoko? Hey, Ann. Who's he?
What? Kyosuke?
Hori's dad. I can't, for the life of me, wonder why everyone gives him such a hard time. He's such a big kid, but that can't be bad, right? He's totally fun with every scene he's in.
Anyone ever told you you've got extremely long eyelashes?
He's the most laid-back character in the show, in my opinion. And with all the types of levity we receive from the other characters, his presence always stands out. I laugh every time he doesn't recognize Miyamura when he shows up with a different hairstyle.
Nice to see you.
Who the hell are you?
What, you can't recognize your best buddy in the whole wide world?
Thanks for having me.
I'll be damned, it is you.
Daddy, you gotta come see this!
Thanks for having me.
And who the hell are you?
He's your bestest buddy in the whole wide world with a haircut.
Whoa, it's Miyamura?
So that's my quick rundown. Do you guys have any specific moments that stood out to you? Let me know in the comments, and don't hold back, because this is graphic.
Like, share, subscribe, read.